Hey, what's up? I'm Rashad.
I'm Dez.
Hanging with the Joneses, of course. We are doing a review for Loki, and this is episode 2, The Variant. So we're basically going to be seeing, or we saw rather, the female Loki variant. Spoilers, of course. I don't know why you didn't think we was going to spoil the episode. Female Loki shows up at the end of the episode, and we basically track her steps. The basis of this whole episode is Loki and Mobius trying to track down how to find this variant of Loki that is basically stealing reset charges, just running amok and killing TVA. In this episode, she does something different. She actually takes one of them. Beginning of the episode, it's 1985. They're at like a Renaissance fair in Wisconsin. They of course see that there's some sort of variant is there, and they go to try to apprehend the variant, and they get slaughtered in the process. And she ends up taking the commander. She's the commander, right?
I think so.
Yeah. The commander of that unit takes her with. We end up finding out to be her. A real interesting little quick tidbit with Loki and Miss Menace. Miss Menace is actually a anthropomorphic clock in the TVA, like a for real thing.
Yeah, and she could like go between like real life and like going into the screen.
Yeah. So she was basically so funny. It's like Loki was trying to like swat her like a fly.
Yeah.
Very funny. So basically, he was trying to tell her about just that he was actually studying, looking at the videos, and basically just getting caught up on what the whole TVA is about. There's a quick tidbit about jet skis in the magazine, which is really funny. And we see that Owen Wilson later on actually use it as like a hallmark of sorts, because he loves the 90s for some reason. And he's used that as basically this is why we're fighting. Another aspect of this episode, outside of the whole, we're trying to find the variant, is this notion of purpose and predestination. You know what predestination is?
No.
Or predetermination. Basically, everything that is meant to be is already written, is already done. That's a very biblical type term. If you're bad, you're always going to be bad. If you're good, you're always going to be good. That everything on the timeline was meant to be because the timekeepers wrote it that way. So if something deviates from that, then it has to be what? Pruned.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
So that whole conversation they had at the table, he's trying to get Mobius to kind of side with him in regards to, we have free will. Loki wants to think that he can do it his way. The TVA is like, no, this is the way. But he's like, no, I'm going to buck the system, because that's what Loki's all about. He's all about bucking the system anyway. It's almost existential crisis of him trying to figure out, like, okay, if everything is supposed to be the way it's supposed to be, then who am I? Or like, why am I? It's actually pretty philosophical conversations that they're having in this. The real action really comes to like the end of the episode. We get the scene from the trailers when they go to Roxcar, which is a Roxxon reference, another Marvel institution that really hasn't shown up yet. But hopefully that they do on phase 4, because they do a lot of other stuff too. Find out what a female Loki was. He was told to look at a bunch of files. He goes to, I guess, like the clerk, and the clerk legit didn't even acknowledge him until he rung the bell. So after he rings the bell, she comes and says, "Hey, like, what do you need?" He's trying to find files of the big how to see timekeepers made. TVA, how time ends. He was like, that's classified. He said, well, what can I do? Well, what file can I have? Literally gives him his file. So as he's going through his file, he sees Ragnarok. Gets a little teary-eyed about home being destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And because, of course, he doesn't know yet, because this isn't regular timeline Loki.
Yeah.
So makes a parallel. Like, all right, so we can actually see that this version of Loki is hiding in basically tragedies and apocalyptic events. If the timeline doesn't have to be resetted anyway, they can do whatever they want during this period, and nobody's gonna know, because the timeline said,
everybody's gonna die.
Yeah, everybody's gonna die anyway. The timeline says the same. So we get the other clip from the trailer when they go to Pompeii, Italy, and they go there. He said, hey, we got to kind of keep, Mobius is like real, like, we got to keep it cool. He's like, nah, yeah, everybody's about to die. It doesn't matter. So there's no variations from them being there. And then, of course, they leave and Pompeii's destroyed.
Also, that pen, is it from a school in like the Marvel universe?
It's FDR High School.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure.
Does Spider-Man go to that school?
Nah, he goes to another school, I think.
Because
I'll look it up.
It put a focus on the pen a little bit, so I was wondering.
They did.
Loki prediction is right. So they go back to the library and they look up more tragedies and they found, like, was it 2050?
Yeah.
In 2050, they find a hurricane that kills everybody. Haven Hill, Alabama. And that's when they run into female Loki. But she doesn't reveal herself yet. What does she come out as? The black guy who says he is buying plants because of the hurricane cell. She switches bodies to what's her title? The general. So she switches bodies to the commander. And they walk around and stuff talking. And she switches to the crew member from the store. He goes in depth about his plan and how he wants everything to go down and how he wants to overthrow the timekeepers and TVA. Not sure what to do. And then
she's like, I ain't trying to do that crap.
Yeah, and then they get in a fight. She switches again to this big man.
Yeah, almost like this stereotypical redneck guy.
Yeah. So they get in a fight. He's on the floor now. She's starting up her machine, so to say. It would be
yeah, all the reset charges.
Yeah, she's starting up all the reset charges. And there's a moment where Loki gets up and she reveals herself as the female Loki. And she's like, I don't want that. And she starts all the reset charges. And all the timelines start popping up, and the episode ends with a crisis.
Yeah.
Of new timelines.
Yeah, it's a lot of timelines.
A lot.
I mean, it's like a lot of branches, and they said it was a 000 event. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically, 00 for me that could be like an event that before everything was one timeline. So this basically is the multiverse being reborn. Think about it, because unless they can go individually and stop all of these branches from actually becoming, this is going to splinter the timeline back into multiple timelines. So it's going to be a multiverse instead of just one stream.
Yeah, and also, I forgot to add, the female Loki opens a door for herself, and as Mobius, I still don't know her name, and the other guard are running to stop him. Loki goes after her to do what?
Loki stuff.
Yeah. But that's how the episode ends. Loki running after the female Loki.
Yeah, so it was a slower. That's Hunter B-15 is her name. Totally forgot. Yeah, it's a very exposition heavy episode, and to be honest, the first episode was real exposition heavy too. Mm-hmm. I was kind of like, it's gonna move along. So the beginning of it was it moved kind of slow. It kind of picked up towards the middle to the end. But overall, a pretty good episode. Not as strong as the first one for me, but it was a good episode. The reveal of female Loki was pretty. I mean, it was kind of duh, but still. Hopefully, next episode we can actually get into some motivations.
Yeah, what?
We should reach a general climax. And then actually start to see some other hijinks.
Yeah.
Because the timeline is splintered. And it's going to be fun watching the TVA trying to put all that together, watching Casey trying to put papers. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Shout out Casey.
Yeah, shout out Casey. Yeah, that's all we really got for today. Make sure you subscribe. I should have told you that at the beginning. But yeah, if you stayed, you should subscribe. Bad Batch with Madison on the side. Doesn't want to record today. Friday and vlog Saturday. If you haven't checked out the latest pod with me and Keisha, do that as well. Good topic.
Video.
Good topic.
Coming out today at 12.
Yes. Kids got something to say. Episode number 10. It's TikTok Toxic Part 2. That's all we got, man. We see y'all later.